So, it's Benjamin Johnson. Well, I noticed on YouTube they've been bringing the talks up again. With Kobe doing whatever he's doing and retiring and getting the what do you call that? And getting his jerseys hung up. And the talks with LeBron, Kobe, and Michael Jordan started revving up again with this comparison. And you know me, I'm Benjamin Johnson, and I'm a LeBron fan. And also, I'm a fan of the truth, and I hate nonsense. So anyway, the talk's been revving back up again, and they always talking about, here's the thing. This is important for you to understand, because I'm about to smash Skip Bayless or whatever his number is, Stephen A. Smith, and Chris Carter. But Chris Carter is a little more open-minded than those two guys. Even though Michael is his friend, Jordan is his friend, he's a little more open-minded, and he kind of understands what Nick Wright be talking about. But there's a lot of people out there that says there's no way in the world LeBron could catch Jordan and stuff like that. Now, the most important thing, first of all, is LeBron never, ever has to catch Jordan, because there's no such thing as the greatest player. There's players in the league that was great at what they did, but they wasn't greater than other players, like Oscar Robinson with the 3 triple-doubles and Westbrook with the 3 triple-doubles, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar with the unstoppable hook, and Wilt Chamberlain was just completely unstoppable, but he was ahead of his time. And then you had Julius Erving, and then you had other ball players that they don't talk about, like Dominique Wilkins. These were some bad ball players. Now, it's very important. This is how I'm going to smash this argument about every time somebody brings up LeBron and Jordan. First of all, they play entirely two different positions. Second of all, there's things that LeBron could do that Jordan just couldn't do. And you know that, and I not, but it's because of LeBron's natural strength and because of his basketball IQ. He's like a savant. So there was just things that Jordan just couldn't do with him. Like Jordan always been the top scorer on his team, but he never ran the franchise. Jordan played for a coach who was in charge of the franchise. He was in charge. He's the one that set up the offense. He set up the defense. He set up the plays, the players. So Jordan didn't run the Bulls. He was the best scorer on the Bulls. LeBron actually ran every team he was on. And the only time he didn't run the team is when he first got with the Miami Heat, and they played, and they bring up this Mavericks thing. But at the time, when he played that championship against the Mavericks, LeBron had not yet taken over the team. It was not his team. So LeBron as a leader, as a bona fide leader, was out of his element when he played that championship, and that's why he looked so bad, because he was completely out of his element. As soon as Dwayne Wade and them said, yo, LeBron, this is your team, you notice championships. And now LeBron always played harder teams in the finals than Jordan did also. Quick note, when Jordan played, the people that Jordan played against in the finals, compared to Jordan and Scotty and all the role players, think of any team that Jordan played in the finals who had 2 people on the team that was even close to as being as good as Scotty and Jordan, the players he played against. And then when you put the triangle offense, you have a Hall of Fame coach, you have a Hall of Fame system, right? Now, this is the same system that Phil brought to Los Angeles and got 5 championships without Jordan. This is the same system that when Jordan was out for that year, took Scottie Pippen and the rest of those guys to the Eastern Conference Finals. This is the same system. So with Jordan, with or without Jordan, this was a great system, because I have to remind you that they still won 55 games the next season when Jordan was out, and the season before that when Jordan was in, they won 57 games. But here's the 3 questions that's going to kick your butt. Stephen A., Skip Bayless, whoever else is arguing about the 3 championships, and that's the reason why Jordan was the greatest and is greater than LeBron James, even though Bill Russell had 11. But anyway, that's the reason why. All right, now watch these questions right here. 3 questions. Number 1, name a coach that LeBron played for. Name one coach that LeBron has ever played for that was as good as Phil Jackson, Greg Popovich, Pat Riley, Bill Russell, or Red Auerbach. Now, all of these teams had multiple championships, and all of the all-stars on those teams who are considered the greatest players played underneath these coaches, and all these coaches has multiple championships. Name one coach that LeBron has ever played with, man, that was good as any of those coaches. Here's your next question. Name one sidekick that LeBron played with that was better than Shaq to Kobe. If you say Kobe is better than LeBron because of his championships, name one sidekick that LeBron had that was better than Shaq, because that was Kobe's sidekick, right? Okay. Name one player that LeBron played with as a sidekick that was better than Scottie Pippen. That was better than Scottie Pippen. Name one. Name one player that LeBron played with. Scottie Pippen never got injured during his championship runs. LeBron lost the championship, and they keep counting that championship against the Warriors, and they count it. And they say, well, LeBron lost 4 championships, but he lost 2 of his best players. And even if he didn't lose 2 of his best players, he never played with a player as good as Scottie Pippen. Magic Johnson had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He had 5 championships, but he had Kareem Abdul-Jabbar as a sidekick. And I'm not even going to mention James Worthy. Larry Bird, multiple championships. The man had Kevin McHale as a sidekick. Kevin McHale. Do you understand what I'm saying here? LeBron been to 7 championships and won 3 of them with all rookie coaches, with no system. In fact, the system was LeBron's. Jordan or Kobe could never win a championship with their own system. Both of those guys won championships only with Phil Jackson and Phil Jackson's championship system. So you cannot compare the greatness of LeBron by comparing him to championships, because it's a team sport. And not only that, LeBron, and if you do try to compare him, LeBron actually was the MVP of all his championship runs anyway, but he was MVP of his championship runs and was playing against harder teams than, because one of Kobe's championships was against the Orlando Magic. He played a hard one against the Boston Celtics, right? So I'll give him that. He had Pau Gasol, but he still had the triangle defense. Now, the one thing Skip always says, and this is where he's so full of crap. The one thing he always says is that Ray Allen and Kyrie Irving bailed him out, and that's how he won those championships. Yeah, right. You're an idiot. Because Robert Horry and Derek Fisher bailed out Kobe. Robert Horry bailed out the Spurs, Tim Duncan and them. Robert Horry bailed out Houston and them. They called him Big Shot Bob. Paxson and Kerr bailed out Jordan. There's no pro. Do you remember that shot by Sean Elliott with the Spurs when his feet was only on the sideline? That's the same shot. That's the same shot that Skip Bayless never talks about, and the Spurs is his team. That's the same shot that Skip Bayless never talks about in the playoffs, who bailed out Tim Duncan when they won their championship, and he never says that. He never says that. And it was in the same corner that Ray Allen shot from, and the heels of his feet was on top of the sideline like this. The line was underneath him. But he always talk about Ray Allen bailed out. Now, if you was to go online right now and look up all LeBron's clutch shots in the playoffs, he has 1 less than Jordan and 1 more than Kobe. He does. Look it up. Look up the information. Find out how many clutch shots LeBron has in the playoffs. Now, as far as his stats is concerned, as far as his stats is concerned, he's going to completely wipe out Jordan and Kobe's stats. I mean, like all the way across the board, steals, blocks, assists, rebounds. He's just going to come wipe them all out. And the man goes to he's been to the playoff 4 years in a row. Is it 4 years in a row, or 7 years in a row, or 6 years in a row? How many years is it in a row? He's been to the championship, all of these, I think it's 7 of them in a row. In a row. Nobody has ever done that except for Bill Russell. Nobody in modern basketball has ever done that. So when you're talking about, you can't compare them about championships, because in order to win a championship, you have to have a championship coach in place. You have to have the system in place. You have to have the role players. One player can't do this. That's why Jordan couldn't do it without Phil Jackson and Scottie Pippen, right? So you have to have the front office. You have to have the proper trainers. So everything has to fit. And every championship ever that you've seen, except for LeBron James, everything fit. Jordan has never took a bunch of ragtag players on his own effort, without Phil Jackson and without Scottie Pippen. He has never took ragtag players to the championship. LeBron did in his 4th year. You cannot name one player on his team that is an all-star that you talk about, that you can't even remember anybody that was on that team. Then he played against the Spurs. LeBron beat with other players, but he beat better teams with less talent a few times. Matter of fact, name one championship that LeBron went into that his team was the favorite. Name one that his team was the definitive favorite. Name one. You can't. Name a time when Jordan and when Kobe Bryant went into a championship when their team wasn't the favorite. I think there was one time with Kobe. I don't think Kobe and them was the favorite over Boston when he had Pau Gasol. I don't think so. But that's probably one time. But you can't name another time. Now, I'm not saying Michael Jordan and Kobe's not great players, but what I'm saying is LeBron, you've never seen nothing like that. Where he controls the coaching, the system, the passing, and as a small forward, the tempo, controls everything about the game. Jordan's never done that. Now, Jordan controlled the scoring. Kobe Bryant controlled the scoring when Shaq wasn't there. So Kobe got 2 championships where he was the best player. The other 3, he wasn't the best player, but they always say he has 5, and no, that was Shaq's stuff. All right. However, but LeBron, Kobe has never led in every single statistical category in the championships. And he's never done a triple-double, never averaged a triple-double in the championships, nor did Jordan. Neither one of them done that. And even one of them was in charge of even the coaching. LeBron pretty much was in charge of the coaching and everything during his championship runs. As soon as Wade and them said, okay, LeBron, this is your team, that's when everything exploded. You know, so I don't count, like you count that Mavericks thing, and the Mavericks had long players at the time, and that was LeBron's first year with Wade and them, and LeBron did not know how to play with other superstars at the time. And you see Westbrook going through the same thing right now. He didn't know how to play with superstars at that time. But as soon as he learned how to play with superstars, as soon as he learned how to play with people that was just as good as him, and they said, LeBron, we need you to run point. We need you to control the tempo. Boom, they started winning. LeBron been doing that his whole career. Completely knock you out the water. Skip, Steven, you can't use the 6 championship deal, man, to say Jordan is better than LeBron. You can't do it. You have to go with individual stats because it's a team sport. And individual stats, well, LeBron still got 5 more years to go. But individual stats, he's already beyond Jordan and Kobe right now. And he got 5 years to go, man. So don't be silly, guys. Just be honest. Don't be silly. You know, so don't call Jordan the greatest. Don't call Kobe the greatest. Don't call Kareem. Don't call nobody the greatest. Just say they were all great players. And Michael Jordan was not the greatest that ever played. And that's a silly sentiment. So, I'll see you later. That's it. But you know, that's some true stuff, though. Can you imagine that? I'm gonna hang on this one last thing. LeBron has never had a sidekick who produced like Scottie Pippen. Never. Shooting, rebounding, assist, defense. Block shot. Scottie was a beast. LeBron has never played with nobody that great. Not like Scottie. Not like Scottie. Drexler had Hakeem Olajuwon when they won. Hakeem Olajuwon had Drexler. When LeBron played with Wade, actually, Wade's first year he was great, and in their first playoff championship he was great. But that's when they didn't know how to play each other. But after that, Wade was pretty beat up, and Bosh was pretty beat up too. Those guys was playing. Was Scottie ever beat up in the? And just one more thing, I have to say this. During the championship runs, you've never seen LeBron on the bench cheering on his players. I've seen Bird on the bench with the towel cheering on his players. I've seen Jordan on the bench cheering on his players in the fourth quarter when they caught back up with Los Angeles. I've seen Kobe Bryant on the bench cheering his players. You've never seen LeBron in the fourth quarter of a championship game cheering on his players. You know why? He was always on the court. He could not leave the court for 60 seconds. Jordan could leave the court for 2 minutes, 3 minutes. Kobe could leave the court for 2 or 3 minutes, and the team will hold it together. LeBron ain't never had a team that could hold it together without him. Speak to me. Talk to me. Talk to me. You know, skipping them, they better not ever ask me to debate with them. Ever in life. And Steve, I'm from New York too, dude. Peace.